One of the elite clubs of Seahawks today is the Noti Gang. That is the folks that have their notifications turned on and never miss a single moment, a single video of Seahawks today. Whether we go live or we have breaking news, you are the first to find out about it when you turn on your notifications. So, Seahawks fans, stay alert, stay up to date. What's going on with your favorite team? Turn on that Noti bell for the latest happenings. Join the Noti Gang. Spam Noti Gang if you're part of the Noti Gang in the comments section. We'll get started with today's show. First question comes from Niners Stank. I like it. Are you concerned that we haven't seen much of Frank Clark yet? So Niners Stink, it's very interesting you bring that up. And the short answer is yes. Let me explain why. So let's go back to the offseason. Frank Clark goes to the Denver Broncos after a very successful tenure with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he played a pivotal role alongside Chris Jones there in that Chiefs defense. Goes to Denver. He and Sean Payton weren't on the same page. There was some conflict there. Ends up third string, wasn't happy, demands his way out. What do you know? Gets released, all that, ends up in Seattle. Well, now the Seahawks don't have Uchenna Nwosu. There was a clear opportunity for Frank Clark to earn significant playing time. And I know some of you may say, well, it's only been a couple weeks. Well, Leonard Williams is already on the field in a significant role. Why is Frank Clark not in a significant role? That tells me that Frank Clark, there's something off right now. Not saying he can't overcome it, but there's a clear need, an opportunity for him to be on the field. And it's not like Darrell Taylor's playing that well either, and he hasn't taken advantage of it. So, yes, I am concerned, and it makes me wonder, was it a mistake to bring in Frank Clark if you're not even going to get that much out of him? Maybe it's too early, but what do you guys think? Chime in that comment section. Y for yes, in for no. Our pinned comment today, was it a mistake to bring in Frank Clark? Let us know what you think. Geno Truther writes in, hashtag Seahawks. Is Geno Smith the right guy to take the Seahawks far this year? Geno Truther, it's a great question when you talk about Geno Smith, because we have seen so far in 2023, it has been a season of peaks and valleys for Geno. He's had moments where he's been awesome in the fourth quarter and led some great comebacks, like what we saw in the Lions game last week against the Commanders. And then there's been other times where he just has not played well. Case in point, that Baltimore Ravens game a couple weeks ago. And, I'll say this. If we're comparing him to the other options at the moment, the answer is yes. I'm trusting him more than Drew Lock or any free agent quarterback out there or anything like that. You're not going to be better off with somebody else. Now, the long-term plan, I do think the Seahawks are going to draft a quarterback in this April's draft and have their quarterback for the future. Geno's not the long-term answer, the long-term solution. But at least for the short term, the best chance for the Seahawks to make a deep playoff run for this year, for this time in the present, is still Geno Smith. That has not changed. And so, Geno, maybe you don't have a ton of confidence in him, but you're not going to get any better than what you have in Geno Smith. And say what you want. I know that he's been a turnover machine at times, but he's been a winner, and he's been clutch in some big moments in these past 2 years. So, Geno, we're riding and dying with Geno Smith this season, no matter what. What's your confidence level in Geno? Scale it for me in the comment section, 1 through 10. How do you feel about the Seahawks quarterback right now? Weigh in, tell me what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy. Here's how Prize Picks works. You choose more or less on any given category of some of your favorite players in the National Football League, including your Seattle Seahawks. This week, I'm rolling with Kenneth Walker to have more than 65.5 rushing yards. Tyler Lockett to have more than 58.5 receiving yards. And Isaiah Pacheco to have less than 59.5 rushing yards. If all three of these play out for me, let's say I throw down $20, that's going to pay out $100. You can play along at home, too. Get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. That's promo code CLNS to play along with us today. You'll be glad you did. Check out Prize Picks, proud partner of Seahawks today. Bryson writes in, when do you think it's time for Bobby Wagner to retire? Whenever he's ready to retire, Bryson. I think that based on Bobby coming back at a discount. Remember, he could have taken more money elsewhere. He could have, quite frankly, gone to a better team than the Seattle Seahawks. But he comes to Seattle, takes less money. He wants to be here. And he's had an incredible year this season. He has not shown any letdown at all. I don't think Bobby's retiring anytime soon. Now, I don't think that the Seahawks are necessarily going to give him the farm to stay long term, but I do expect him to retire, a member of the Seahawks. I think he's still got at least a couple seasons left in him. With that said, it doesn't mean the Seahawks shouldn't start thinking about their future of finding a young middle linebacker of sorts that can play under Bobby, that can be groomed to take over that role eventually. But at least I would be surprised if Bobby doesn't go at least another couple more years. Teddy G, I think Quandre Diggs gets cut when the season is over. So the Seahawks restructured Quandre Diggs' deal before the season began. And I got to say, the way that he's played right now as of late has not been that good, if we're going to be quite frank with you. We know that Quandre Diggs is capable of playing at a high level. We've seen it even this year against the Bengals, the Giants. He played very well. But for the most part, it's been a down year for Quandre Diggs. You go back to last year, he really turned it on in the second half of the season, really got things going. With that said, I don't know if we've seen the last of Quandre Diggs. I think kind of like Bobby, he wants to be here, so maybe you can get him to take a pay cut of some sorts. But the more that he struggles does make his future uncertain for next year and beyond. Wayne writes in, what is the greatest need in the 2024 draft? Smitty and I were talking about this the other day. And although the Seahawks have made big investments at getting younger with what they've done the last couple of seasons, they've done a really good job drafting. There is still some obvious things that need to be fixed long term. One of those is the quarterback position. That's still the biggest. Geno's not your long-term solution. You got to go get another quarterback. Defensively, we mentioned guys like Bobby, Quandre Diggs, and Jamal Adams, and others aren't spring chickens, so you got to start thinking about their replacements down the line. Jarran Reed, as good as he's been, a nice free agent signing. He's not so young either. You got to start thinking about those replacements, getting younger at those positions down the line, and at least getting those guys ready to take over those roles. Matthew, 3 players I want to see more of. Derrick Hall, Jerrick Reed, and more Bobo. First off, we all want more Bobo. The fact that in that Ravens game he only had 9 snaps was just ridiculous. But yes, more Bobo. Jerrick Reed, who are you going to take off the field? I like Jerrick Reed. I think he's got a lot of potential, but, I mean, who do you take off? Somebody's got to go then. Is it Julian Love? Is it Quandre Diggs? Is it Jamal Adams? I mean, the truth of the matter is Jerrick Reed's not better than any of those 3 guys. So you may want to see him play, but who are you going to sacrifice at that? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Derrick Hall, yes. I'd be very okay with giving the rookie more playing time. Haven't liked what I've seen from Darrell Taylor. Give Derrick Hall a shot. Why not? Nice little thunder and lightning combo with him and Boye Mafe there. Caleb, how do you think it's looking like for Lockett to stay for the next couple of years? Well, we were talking within the last couple of weeks. Tyler Lockett's already using the R word, retirement, that R word. And so I don't think that he's looking to play a long time. I think he wants to retire a Seahawk. It'd be great to see him in one uniform the whole time. But I would expect that comes at a cost of, taking a pay cut of some sorts. Eventually, we would be looking at JSN taking over his role at some point here. There's a lot of dominoes that would still need to fall. I do expect him to retire a Seahawk and play a couple more seasons, but I would be surprised if he gets all of the money that's currently in his contract at the moment. JVB says, if there was only one position that you could improve, which position would it be? Well, I was hounding for months about that Seahawks need to improve the front seven, in particular that defensive line, and they took care of that. So now, where do they necessarily go from here? The biggest improvement for me is I want Abraham Lucas back in the football field. And I know Jason Peters played well this past week. Did a really good job there. But the best solution for this Seahawks team is getting Abraham Lucas healthy and get him back on the football field. That's the biggest improvement this team could use right now is having Abe Lucas back out there. That's what I want to see. Last question. Raw Hector. Good to see you, Raw Hector. If the Seahawks go 3-5 the rest of the way, is that enough to make it into the playoffs? If so, what seed? All right, so let's do a little quick math here. Seahawks are 6-3. They're going 3-5. That puts them at 9 wins, 5 more losses. That's 9-8 at that point. It might be enough to get the 7 seed, potentially speaking. We've seen the Vikings are playing a lot better football as of late. The Saints are in good position to win that division, but you have some other teams there, and there's still a lot to play out necessarily. I think your magic number, if you're Seattle, the goal for this team should be 11 wins. If you get 11 wins, there's a pretty good chance you walk away with the division title. And if not, you're going to be the highest wild card team at the number 5 ranking. To me, that should be the number to hit on. Get to 11. I know the second half of the schedule's tough, but it is within reach. I think that's what you're looking at. 9, if you stumble in at 9-8, history tells us being a 7 seed doesn't play out too well for 7 seeds. I think you need to try to do what you can. 11 is that magic number to hit. For more Seahawks coverage, subscribe to Seahawks Today. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. We'll see you next time right here on the channel.